10 expenses you think are completely normal are quietly pulling somewhere around $800 a month out of your life, and the scary part is you'd defend every single one of them if I asked. That's not a spending problem in the way you think. That's a normal problem. Because here's what actually drains people at your income level. It's almost never the big, dumb, obvious purchase. Nobody's going broke on one flight to Cancun. You're going broke on the stuff that's so ordinary, so baked into regular adult life, that it doesn't even register as spending anymore. It just feels like being a person in 2026. And that's the trap I want to pull apart today. Not stop buying coffee, because that advice is lazy and kind of insulting. I'm talking about the specific expenses that got normalized so hard that your brain filed them under just life and stopped counting them. That's the danger, not the cost, the invisibility. I went through this myself about 2 years ago, and I'll tell you the exact moment it hit me later in the video, because it involves a number on a bank statement that genuinely made me put my phone down. It wasn't pretty. If you're the kind of person who makes decent money but somehow the account never grows and you can't figure out where it's going, this channel is built for exactly you. Smart enough to earn it, never handed the system to keep it. Subscribe and stick around. Let's count these off, and I promise at least 3 of them are gonna sting. Number 1, and it's the big one, so we're starting here. The subscription stack. Not one subscription, the stack, the pile of them you've accumulated so slowly you never saw it grow. Run the count with me right now, seriously, in your head. Netflix, Spotify, or Apple Music. Maybe Hulu, maybe Disney, Amazon Prime, iCloud storage because your phone kept yelling at you. Your gym, maybe a fitness app on top of the gym. That meditation app you downloaded during a rough week, a password manager. Maybe a subscribe and save on Amazon you set up once and never looked at again. Most people I know, when they actually count, land somewhere between 7 and 11 of these. And here's the thing your brain does. It never sees the total. It sees $14.99 here, $9.99 there, $6 over there. Each one on its own is a nothing number. That's the whole trick. They're individually invisible and collectively brutal. 7 subscriptions averaging $12 each is $84 a month. That's a little over $1,000 a year, gone, for a bundle of stuff where you're probably actively using 3 of them. Nobody sat down and decided to spend $1,000 a year on subscriptions. That's the point. You never made that decision. You made 11 tiny decisions, months apart, and the system quietly added them up for you and started charging your card on autopilot. Number 2, the convenience fee you're paying to be tired. I'm talking about food delivery, but not the way you think, so stay with me. Everybody knows DoorDash is expensive. That's not the insight. The insight is which delivery order is actually killing you. And it's not the fun one. It's not the Friday night order with friends where you split a big thing of food and it's basically a social event. That one's fine. That one's got a return on it. The one draining you is the sad Tuesday order. The 11 at night, I had a long day, there's nothing in the fridge, $22 for a single burrito bowl order. Because when you add up the food, the delivery fee, the service fee, the little small order fee, and the tip, that $14 burrito bowl becomes $26. You paid an 80-something% tax on being tired. And I'm not judging that. Tuesday you was genuinely exhausted. The system is designed to catch you exactly when your willpower's lowest. Do that twice a week and you're at $50-something a week, north of $200 a month, just on the tired orders. $2,600 a year to not cook on the nights you felt worn out. And you never once felt like you were spending big money. You felt like you were just getting through the week. Number 3, and this one's sneaky because it looks responsible. The upgrade you didn't need but felt adult for buying. The classic is the phone. Your old phone worked fine. It genuinely did. But it was 2 years old, the battery was getting tired, and the new one came out, and everybody around you was getting it. So you upgraded on one of those $33 a month plans that makes it feel free. It's not free. It's $400 a year to have this year's phone instead of last year's phone, which did the same 4 things you actually use it for. And phones are just the loudest example. It's also the car you leased a step nicer than you needed. The apartment with the in-unit washer you told yourself you'd use the amenities of. Each upgrade felt like a small, reasonable step up that a functioning adult makes. That's lifestyle creep wearing a responsible outfit. Your spending quietly rising every time your income does, so you always feel exactly as broke as you did before the raise. I fell for the phone one hard. I needed the better camera. I have taken maybe 4 photos worth keeping. That was 40-something bucks a month for a feature I use like twice a year. Number 4. The membership you're keeping out of guilt. Usually the gym, but not only. You know the one. You signed up in January, full of intentions, 40 bucks a month. You went hard for 6 weeks. Now it's a different season, and you've been 3 times since spring. But you keep it because canceling feels like admitting something about yourself. So you pay $40 a month to not have the conversation with yourself. That's $480 a year as an emotional tax on your own guilt. Number 5 ties right into it. The aspirational purchases. The stuff you bought for the version of you that you were going to become. The nice camera for the hobby you'd start. The standing desk for the productivity era. The cookbook, the yoga mat, the language app subscription. None of it's dumb. It's actually kind of sweet. You were investing in a better you. The problem is that better you never showed up, and the recurring charges did. Here's a clean way to catch these two. Open your bank app right now and look at every recurring charge. For each one, ask a brutal question. Have I actually used this in the last 30 days? Not will I, not I might, did I? If the honest answer is no, you're not paying for a service. You're paying rent on a fantasy. All right, number 6, and this is where it gets a little uncomfortable, so let me say the honest part first. None of this is you being irresponsible. Every single one of these got normalized by design. Companies figured out decades ago that the money you don't feel leaving is the money you don't fight to keep. Autopay, free trials that roll over, prices ending in 99 so your brain rounds down, that's not an accident. That's a whole industry engineered to make spending frictionless and noticing it hard. So if you've got 7 subscriptions and a Tuesday DoorDash habit, you didn't fail. You responded exactly the way the system was built to make you respond. The anxiety you feel about money isn't because you're bad at it. It's the rational reaction to a setup designed to blur your own numbers from you. And real quick, if you're 4 expenses in and you've already recognized yourself in like 3 of them, do me a favor and hit that like button. It's a tiny thing, takes a second, but it genuinely pushes this to the next person who's lying in bed tonight wondering where their paycheck went. And if a specific person popped into your head, the roommate, the partner, the friend with 14 subscriptions, just send them this. You don't even have to say anything. The title does the work. Okay, number 6 for real. It's basically free money spending. Buy now, pay later. Those 4 easy payments of $22 on some app at checkout. It feels harmless because no single payment hurts. But what it actually does is let you buy things your current bank account already said no to. You're not affording the thing. You're spreading the not affording across 4 future paychecks. And when 3 or 4 of those overlap, you've got $100 a month in past purchases quietly eating your present income, and you can't even remember what half of it was for. Number 7, the grocery gap. This one's wild because it hides inside something you're supposed to do. You go to Target for groceries. Good, responsible, cooking at home, saving money. Except you walked out $90 over what you came for because of the stuff that jumped in the cart on the way to the milk. The candle, the seasonal throw pillow, the 3rd variety of snack you didn't know existed. Target's entire store layout is a psychology experiment, and you are the subject. The groceries are in the back on purpose so you walk past everything else. Number 8 is the sibling of that, the small treat that stopped being occasional. The $4.50 coffee wasn't the problem when it was a Friday thing. It became the problem when it quietly turned into an every morning thing you stopped noticing. 5 days a week at $4.50 is over $1,000 a year. And look, I'm genuinely not telling you to give up coffee. That advice is tired and I hate it. I'm telling you to notice when a treat crossed the line into a fixed cost while you weren't looking. The test isn't, is this worth it? Coffee's worth it. The test is, did I choose this, or did it just become automatic? Automatic is where the money leaks. Number 9, the loyalty tax. This is the money you lose for the crime of not paying attention, and it's maybe the most infuriating one because you get literally nothing for it. Your car insurance quietly crept up $18 a month over 3 years because you never reshopped it. Your phone bill's on some legacy plan that's $20 more than the current one. Your internet's at the "we raised your rate after the promo ended" price, and you never called. Your savings is sitting in a big bank account paying basically 0, while high-yield accounts like Ally or Marcus or Capital One are paying around 4% annual yield on the exact same dollars. Companies bank on your inertia. They know calling to switch is annoying, so they slowly raise the price, betting you won't bother. Most people don't. That's the whole business model. Number 10, the last one, is the quiet killer. Money that isn't leaking, it's just sitting. The couple $1,000s in your checking account doing nothing. Feels safe, right? But if you've got, say, $5,000 parked in a regular checking account earning nothing, and it could be in a high-yield savings earning 4%, that's $200 a year you're leaving on the table for zero effort. Not spent, just not working. The cost of that one is invisible because nothing left your account. You just never let it grow. So here's my moment, the one I promised you. About 2 years ago, I was doing the year-end thing where the banking app shows you a summary of everything you spent, broken into categories. You've seen it. Most people scroll past it. I didn't scroll past it, and the food and dining category said a number I'm still a little embarrassed by. It was north of $6,000 for the year. $6,000, and I don't eat at nice places. That wasn't steak dinners. That was 1,000 tiny orders. The Tuesday burrito bowls. The I'll just grab lunch today. The coffee that became automatic. The delivery fees stacked 100 times over. And the thing that actually got me wasn't the number itself. It was that I could not remember almost any of it. $6,000 of my life, gone, and I couldn't point to a single meal that was worth remembering. I didn't have $6,000 of joy. I had $6,000 of, I was tired, it was easier. That's when it clicked for me. The money hadn't been stolen by some big villain. It left in tiny, forgettable, completely normal pieces, and the forgettable is exactly why it was so much. Big expenses you remember and weigh. Normal ones just evaporate. Okay, here's the reframe, and it's the whole point, so stay with me for a second. We've been taught to think being good with money means having discipline in the big moments, saying no to the vacation, not buying the expensive thing, white-knuckling through temptation. But that's backwards. The big moments barely matter because they're rare and you actually think about them. Your wealth isn't decided by the 10 decisions a year you agonize over. It's decided by the 400 decisions a year you don't even notice making. The Tuesday order, the rolled over trial, the insurance you didn't reshop. Those aren't small. They just feel small because they're frequent, and frequent things go invisible. So the move isn't more discipline. Discipline is a terrible long-term plan because it runs out exactly when you're tired, which is when the spending happens anyway. The move is to make the invisible visible one time, and then change the default so you don't have to keep deciding. You cancel the 4 subscriptions once. You call the insurance company once. You move the money to high yield once. You don't need willpower every Tuesday. You need to fix the system once so it stops leaking on its own. That's the difference between people who feel broke on a good salary and people who quietly get ahead. It's not that one group has more discipline. One group just stopped letting normal go uncounted. So here's exactly what to do this week, and it takes about 20 minutes total. Sit down tonight, open your bank app, and go through the last month of charges one screen at a time. Every recurring charge, ask the brutal question, used it in the last 30 days, yes or no? The no's get canceled right then, while you're looking at them. Don't save it for later. Later never comes. Then pick your one biggest leak. For a lot of you, it's going to be the food and dining number, so go look at yours. I dare you. And just put a cap on the automatic version of it. Not 0. You're allowed to live. Just move it from automatic back to a choice. Then make 2 phone calls this week. One to reshop your car insurance, one to your phone or internet provider to ask what plan you should actually be on. Those 2 calls average people a couple $100 a year for 20 minutes of mild annoyance. And move your emergency savings somewhere it actually earns something. If this got you, the video you want next is my one on lifestyle creep, because a lot of these normal expenses showed up the moment your income did, and that's a whole mechanism worth understanding so it doesn't just happen again with your next raise. And I really want to know this one, so drop it in the comments. Go look at your food and dining total for the last year, the app will show you, and just tell me the number. No judgment, I already showed you mine. I think a lot of us are going to find out we're not broke, we're just leaking. 10 normal expenses, somewhere around $800 a month, and you'd have defended every one of them at the start of this video. Now you can see them. And the stuff you can see, you can finally stop paying for.